If your unborn child is a girl, she becomes the wife of the deceased. When the girl is 12 years old, you should bring her to us, and two beasts too. Maga went to the forest to hunt in the night. He heard movement in the trees and fired an arrow. Unfortunately, he hit Quenga, a man who had come into the forest to look at his traps he used to catch wild pigs. After 4 days, Quenga died of his arrow wound. He was a single 20-year-old son of Chief Ikwa. Once upon a time, in the Balawa village tradition, run deeply among the lives of its people, for generations among this custom that involved the exchange of a woman or girl child as a form of appeasing the spirit of the dead man. If a man was single and get killed or murdered, the family of the murderers must provide a woman for the dead man. The woman will be married in the family to provide children for the deceased. Maga's wife was 8 months pregnant. When she had the news that her husband had killed a man, her heart sank. She knew what was going to happen to one of her girl child. On hearing the news, Maga's wife went into early labor, and she bore a baby girl. When she was told at the hospital that she had been blessed with a girl, she screamed that the nurse and everyone in the ward were shocked. "What's the matter, my lady?" asked one of the doctors. Maga's wife couldn't answer. She sweated profusely, as she knew in her heart the plight of this innocent girl she had brought into the world. 12 years later, Amanda, the little girl, had to leave her home for good to be a wife to one of the Chief Ikwa's son. "You have to get ready. Your husbands are coming tomorrow. You can't live here with us now. You are going to join a new family and be part of them." But why was my parents going to marry me off to settle the debt I had not committed? I grew up in not knowing. My father never told me what had happened long ago when he went out on that fateful night. Chief Ikwa had a polygamous family with up to 21 children, 3 boys and 18 girls. When the news reached me, I did not resist. What would a 12-year child defend herself with? I was told I was going to live with one of Chief Ikwa's son, called Abara. But when I got to Chief Ikwa's house, things had already changed. Chief Ikwa wanted me for himself. I was going to live in his first wife's house until I was 16 years old. Fear gripped me. My father was surprised, I guess, for he expected a fight, but I wasn't going to give them that pleasure. I had always been strong and stubborn, like a goat among my family. Why would my father marry me off to that old man? He was an abuser and a womanizer. Over the years, he had married 5 wives. My life in the new home and the other women and children were like as slaves. We worked on his farm day and night without rest. The man Chief Ikwa was an old, rugged man, and sometimes I prepared and planned to run away, but where would go? I couldn't, because there was no means of transportation in the village, and my father's debt was to be paid, otherwise the dead man's spirit would rise up and haunt me and my family. I didn't want to marry Chief Ikwa. Sometimes I wandered around the field, gardens and bushes, not knowing what to do. As usual, my eyes would well up with tears, knowing I couldn't escape from this nightmare. One day, an old woman of the village said to me, "Why are you crying?" I pretended blowing my nose and sniffing back my tears. "Oh, child, I know how painful it is to be married against your will," she said. I was stunned and surprised while looking at her with a questioning gaze. "How did you know?" I wanted to escape and achieve my dreams. She asked with a shaking smile. She was the only one who knew my passion. I want to go to school and be better and lift my family up. By 16, I had born triplets for Chief Ikwa, 2 boys and a girl. One day, Chief Ikwa fell ill, and by the end of week, he had died. It was kind of sadness and joy at the same time. After 2 months of Chief Ikwi's death, we were summoned to a meeting. The younger brother of Chief Ikwi was in charge. He was a kind man, so looking at my plight, I thought I was going to be passed on to him. But fortune came in a different way. Chief Ikwi's brother said, "My daughter, thank you. You have blessed USS with 3 children. Now, since your husband has died, it's your choice if you want to stay or go back to your family." I chose to go back home since I had just turned 17 years old. I stood up and went back to my father's house. The debt was paid, and I was set free. I managed to get books, and I was able to learn how to write and read on my own. I was only privileged to meet the, young man from the neighboring village, and we fell in love as God may have it. He was so fond of me. I noticed how he always looked at my body with such admiration. We moved to the big city of Lagos. There we met help in the form of educated people, and things we may have never dreamed of.